Hello, welcome to the Made in the South podcast, episode 25. Woohoo! Brought to you by your two favorite co-hosts, mother and son, Lisa and Ben Harmon. How are y'all doing today, guys? I know we've been gone a couple weeks, on vacations. We've been, I have a few podcasts ready to go to upload, so you will get multiple podcasts. So if you're listening now, the last two came out around the same time. You should have plenty to listen to, but we're glad you're here. We're glad to be here.
And if you're only listening to us, of course, we do have not audio. Was that visual? Mm-hmm. We have some wonderful balloons that
Yes, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, you'll see these balloons. I can't grab them, but they're up here. We are celebrating our 25th.
There's a yellow one.
Mm-hmm. Celebrating episode 25. No champagne today, but we gotta have time to go get champagne or sparkling grape juice or whatever you might want.
But the future. The future.
If you're watching, feel free to celebrate. This is episode 25. This is what?
It's exciting.
Starting in February, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it started late February, and now it's September. My birthday is this Saturday.
Woohoo!
So I'll be big old 29.
Wow. Well, we've already taken 2 vacations, so don't expect a whole lot.
Our way of celebrating the birthdays, holidays is take a trip, do something all together as a family. We don't do a whole lot of gift giving.
Or even if it's local, even if we don't take a trip, we like to do some kind of adventure. Mm-hmm. Sometimes try a new restaurant, that kind of thing. Yeah. So
which means for the podcast, we like trying new restaurants too. As you all know, if you watch our early episodes, we did a lot of restaurant reviews. We still will. We got a few to talk about today.
And I had a listener just recently contacted me, and it wasn't restaurants, which we should probably throw some in for our area, but she wanted to know what, like, the jobs, the living condition, what it was like in Knoxville. Yeah. Because she's kind of far west. Yeah,
she's planning to possibly move this way, I believe, and she wanted to get some insight into what it's like living here.
And she's in healthcare, so she wanted me to kind of look into that for her. So,
breakdown of local hospitals and
urgent care
clinics and urgent care. There's a lot of them around this area.
She was thinking her ideal job would be, and I think this would be fun too, was to do the first aid, whatever you want to call it, clinic at Dollywood.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I told you that. So
which we have been there many times over the years.
Yes, we have visited.
I've had friends break their teeth.
Yes.
By tripping. I've had rolled ankles, all cuts, all the sorts of things.
And they'll take care of you. I told her, yes, they did have one. So.
But today's episode, we're going to focus mostly on our most recent beach trip. Last episode, we managed to record one episode before we left for the beach. We talked about Dragon Con pretty extensively. So we probably won't touch on it much, maybe one story or two. But
just something I hadn't told you, I was on a shoot for a short film because they're doing a big film festival here in Knoxville in December, and a lot of local. Well, I think more than local, but doing short. I think
it's like here, North Carolina, a few people to travel.
Excuse me, I call them short films, but they call it in the past, but they're calling them elevator pitch, and you can do a pitch, and then if it gets selected, you can do a full length. Movie.
Nice. Yeah. So basically, it's like you create a short version of a movie, a very short version, and then if it gets traction, it gets the funding to turn into a full length.
I hope so. I don't know about the funding, but we would.
I mean, if it goes down, I think my knowledge serves me correctly.
Yes.
If you have to win so many festivals to get eligible to go into the festival track for like Oscar nominations, and then you go through this long process of film festivals, and then if you get enough recognition or people like your project, they'll call their buyers. I did a panel at Dragon Con about this.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know the funding part. Yeah. I just, again, when I go show up on a movie set or whatever, I'm talking.
Well, you and I talked about this briefly the other day, and I was like, why don't you know these things? Because I heard it, not you.
Yes.
But yeah, so you go through this long process, and then there's only certain festivals that are eligible to become votable for the Oscars.
Okay.
So then if you do that, you might have a production company or something go, hey, I like this idea. Let's try to buy the rights to it.
Okay.
And then they'll either buy from you or fund you to turn it into a big production.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because most of the films, short films and different things we do like for festivals are self-funded. So that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long process. Sometimes it'll take years. You might make it in like 2020. It won't be till like 24, 25 till it actually does something, because you're always putting it in a new festival, because only a few get selected a year. It's not like you have like hundreds that get selected. You might have 5 to 10 or something like that.
Interesting. I didn't know all that.
You can always resubmit and go to new festivals, go to the same ones again. Someone's watching, go, oh, I like that idea. change a couple things here, but be really good to go. Then they'll buy the rights from you, and then
hopefully it gets filmed, and hopefully it doesn't stay on the shelf. So there you go.
I'm hearing some stomach rumble. Could be me. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm touching mine.
I heard somebody's like, oh my gosh.
Well, speaking of stomachs, I've been craving. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's you.
Oh, if you hear that stomach rumble, it's probably me digesting this wonderful breakfast.
What'd you have?
That my son made me, and it was his very special French toast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically homemade. I mean, I like the bread I don't make myself, and I looked at a recipe a long time ago, and I've morphed it into my own now. I did take photos of some of the process. I didn't do a video this time, but I took some photos of it. So if you follow our Instagram page and Facebook, we will post those up there.
Sorry, it keeps growling, guys. I don't know. It's just it's a satisfied growl, okay?
Yeah, it's a very happy growl. Wow, you are very. Here, let me move the mic away from you a little bit. It might be okay. But yeah, move the mic a bit away. Maybe it won't pick up the growls. But yeah, so that was delicious. I have a whole plate full. There'll be photos on our Instagram and Facebook if you want to see it.
Recipe.
Yeah, I'll put the recipe. To be fair, I don't follow a recipe, but I will make a little digital piece of like what I do, and I don't like measure how much like.
But even though I also, I've taught you this way, don't follow a recipe. Put like you can say about 6 eggs, about this much milk.
Yeah. I was like, you asked me this morning how many eggs. I was like 6 or 7. I don't know. And then I have nutmeg and I have cinnamon sugar. Those are the main ingredients that you need. And then just a low heat, like a mid-low heat, like a 3 out of 10 probably is the way I would do it. That's the way I did mine. I
had to stop eating. I had 3 pieces, and I knew I gotta stop.
And your body's being happy now. We are going to go for a walk after we record today to help digest that food, get a little exercise, get some sun on our bodies. Yeah. I guess what about the beach? Just thinking about sun.
Well, we went to Hilton Head. For a week. We had to stay in this beautiful 3-bedroom, I call it like a condo. They call it a cabins or
a cottage.
Cottage, yes. Fancy name. They weren't standalone cabins, but they were cottage.
Like small townhomes.
Yes. And had everything you could think of. They had everything you could think of. Everything you could think of. Yep.
My only complaint for me personally is my bed was a little small for me. My feet only hung up about that far, but of the bedrooms, I was in the more kids.
I offered you.
Yeah, but I love my mother's. I'll let you have the bigger bed.
I did enjoy my nice, big, squishy bed. It was great.
But I went to the chiropractor when I got back, so I feel fine now. Yeah, I got cracked and aligned. I don't know if I've spoken about it on the podcast yet, but I have a spine injury back when I used to weightlift a lot. I still weightlift now. I used to go pretty hard when I was younger. And I had an injury that I never really took care of fast enough, and I didn't know I needed to until probably about a year ago, where I got it x-rayed and looked at, and my spine's compressed on the base. 3 of my vertebrae are basically not fused, but they're very tight, cause a lot of inflammation lower back, a lot of muscle pulling. So that's caused some issues for me. I didn't realize for like probably the last 8 or 9 years.
Right, but it's better.
Yes, it's better. It's not healed, but I definitely am so much better than I used to be. Some days I couldn't move because I was in so much pain and just discomfort.
Ow.
Yeah. If you have any sort of pain, make sure you get checked out. Don't push it off like I did and be like, it's fine.
Don't let it go. But our Hilton Head trip, we were right on, I almost called, you've got a lot of marshy areas. You know, you're on an island.
It's a literal island.
It's a literal island, so of course you've got the marsh as you get closer inland. And our area was on, the best I could call it was like an inlet.
Yeah, it's basically an inlet. You have this main strip that goes from the public beach basically to the entrance. And we're like 1.5 miles from the beach. You go like down the road. We're closer to the beach than 1.5 miles, but to get out of our place was about half a mile.
Right.
So it's like.
The reason I say that is I sat out every morning. We had like a back porch, and to see the wildlife. And every single morning, alligators would come by. There was a big, huge.
Well, we have some photos. I don't know if I can show them easily on the camera here, but I will post them. I was waiting until we got back to post the beach photos.
We don't usually post while we're on vacation.
Yeah, I know last week, before we left, I talked about it. You're like, oh, no, I was like, I'm not posting until we get back. It's
like,
okay.
Don't talk about it yet. But, excuse me. A really big alligator, and then a more juvenile alligator would swim by every day. And then there was this huge black diver bird. Every single morning would be out fishing. And then the last day we were there was a beautiful white, which I knew the name of, beautiful white bird. And he was really close to the little alligator. And I was like, uh-oh. But he did jump out of the water.
Yeah, only because I watched Crocodile Hunter back in the day.
Yes.
R.I.P. But I had seen photos like him talking about crocodiles and that same bird. And they're just they're used to each other, but they don't eat each other. Because one like eats like small fish, and the alligator eats like larger.
Okay, good. Well, this was 2 different kinds of birds, so who knows?
Oh yeah.
But I was still glad this white dainty bird jumped out.
I don't think alligators eat birds.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they might if like just sits there long enough, but
maybe that's why he wasn't scared of me.
Yeah.
Right away.
I'll look it up right now. Do alligators eat birds?
Oh, good to know. And I also enjoyed the turtles. I enjoyed the birds, the alligators. Of course, I played my Merlin bird sound identifier app, which it's wonderful to play it when you're at different places and see what kind of birds are there.
So they do eat birds, but it's not their first choice.
Okay. Well, it was a really big alligator. And they had like a wooden edging. Yeah. He definitely could have gotten out if he wanted to. The edging is
like flood prevention mostly.
Is it? Okay.
It's like to keep the structure intact, like so it doesn't erosion doesn't go into the water.
Well, there was a part of it that had no structure, and I thought he's gonna crawl out. But
I'm sure they do sometimes.
But it was fine. It was fine. We didn't get eaten. It was fine. It was fine. And so I like that part a lot. I like to see the nature.
Yeah.
But another part that I like, of course, I love going to the ocean. We'll talk about that, but with some of the wonderful seafood.
Yes.
On Hilton Head Island.
We had great seafood. One of our weaknesses is any sort of crab bisque, lobster bisque, any sort of seafood soup or chowder.
They had a she crab and a he crab soup.
The main difference is just one's a male crab, one's a female crab, and then
it's delicious.
Yeah.
But my favorite place, if you ever go to Hilton Head, is called the Sea Shack, and it's more of a cafeteria style.
Yeah, especially if you're on a slight budget, it's a great way to go. I mean, it still costs money, but it's cheaper than anywhere else.
It's about half the cost of a sit down restaurant. So you go to the cashier, you tell her what you want, and my favorite scallops, and they had the most delicious blackened scallops.
Yeah, we do love our seafood blackened. Yeah. Just we like it with a little bit of pizzazz to it. But yeah.
And I got that twice. And then you ordered some really good fish.
Yeah, so I had a snapper the first time we went. Second time I got the grouper. He said I didn't want to do the same thing again. And those you get like 2 big like pieces of fillets of it. Man, that was some good stuff.
Even the sides are amazing. So if you ever go there, that's like my number one. It is nothing fancy. You only so many people at a time can actually come in to the restaurant. When we got there, how long did we wait in line the second night? About 40 minutes?
Second night, probably about 40 minutes to an hour. The first night, maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. Then we got there later.
So a little tip if you go to the Sea Shack is, make sure it's right, yes. Is if we went late.
Like an hour and a half before close.
Right, and there was no line. But if you go right when it opens at 5, you can expect a 30 to 45 minute wait.
Which is fine. We met some people. We didn't realize while we were there, we met people who were from this area.
Yeah.
And actually
knew people that we knew.
Yeah. Knew a couple of the same people we knew. And we're like, oh, this is so we chatted, did some camera tutorials. They didn't know how to take good photos on their phone.
A good one. I met someone else in my age group and had never listened to podcasts and didn't know how. He had 3 sons, which surprised me they hadn't shown him, but okay.
They may not do it either.
Maybe they don't do it. But I showed him. He was thrilled because now I can listen.
He's a big, was it Reds?
Reds? It was a sports team for sure.
I think it was a Reds fan.
It was Reds.
Yeah.
So I asked him, what's something you like? He told me, and I showed him how to find it. And then I want to find this other podcast. I showed him how to find that. And, I hope he'll enjoy. Listen to podcasts for free.
Yeah. I know you listen to our podcast, of course.
Right.
But, I mean, listening to podcasts are free. You can learn new things, find perspectives you have known nothing about, which is part of why we do our podcast, kind of give a more Southern focused perspective on things, just because, we think we're interesting and funny.
Yes,
we want to share that with you guys, and a lot of you guys have questions. We want to answer them for you guys. So once we get everything set up in our new studio with a new computer, we'll start doing live podcasts, so you can talk to us live on air.
We can answer questions.
Yeah. We probably won't do video calls, not voice calls right away.
No.
That's just 2 of us. I kind of need someone else to help screen those calls.
As we know, who does all the
it's all me.
Technology, sound.
I hung up all these balloons above us here. I hung up the little banner.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, she walked in. She's like, "Oh, what's that?" I'm like, it's a little celebration for.
And today I did not wear green.
Yes. So you can't see through her right now. So that's good.
I had to wear my Dragon Con shirt last time.
But the head was missing, and it was funny.
It was just darker.
Yeah. But the.
Oh, wait, let me tell you another one. I'm gonna give top 2.
Yep.
They're my top 2.
Back to Hilton Head.
Of course, got more time.
You know us. We always go back and forth. We go on tangents and swing back around.
The other place I really like. I don't go for the real they do have some very nice. You're paying for the sitting by the beach or the inlet, beautiful decor, but of course you're paying more money. So that's why I like Sea Shack. They have some picnic tables outside. You can take it back to where you're staying.
They also have indoor seating too.
Yeah, they do have a little more indoor seating now, right?
Last time we went, they had maybe 4 or 5 tables inside. And this could be my memory from years ago, not actually true, but I believe that was the case. They had 2 benches outside, like 2
that's what I remember.
Picnic benches. And now they have like 7 picnic tables.
And it's undercover.
Yeah, and undercover. Nice. So I think back in the day, they brought the food to the outdoor window. You walked up to the window and they would hand it to you right there.
We might get our place, but that's what we remember. Yeah. But the other place I liked, moved in right across the street from it, Captain Woody's. And that was a place we'd gone to before that also had outside seating. Yeah.
So one thing about me, I love to drink.
Yes.
And they have really decent price beer. It was like $3.50, $4 for a pint. And like for a tourist destination, great price.
Yep. So. And they also had frozen drinks. Which
frozen drinks too. Those were like in that 13 range. But if you just want to go for beer, they have TVs, outdoor bar, great place to go to watch some sports, just to hang out with friends and family, just to get a few drinks.
So don't be thrown if you go there and you're like, well, where's Captain Wood? Make sure I say it right, because I just go to
Captain Woody's.
Captain Woody's. They have moved, but they're right across from the Sea Shack.
Yep. So Captain Woody's has a sign. Sea Shack does not have a sign pointing you to where it is until you get back to that loop. But they're right next to each other, so you can't miss it.
Right.
Plenty of parking, unless they're like, I'm sure during like June, July, probably a bit busier, but they have a lot of parking.
They are a local favorite and a tourist destination for both.
Yeah.
So those are my
great
two favorites.
Food, great people.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Yes. Even the sides were good. I mean, I've never had, what was it, a sweet potato cornbread?
Sweet potato cornbread. They had these like lima beans. They have about 10 sides every day. Some of them change every day, so it may not be the same sides.
Delicious. It was delicious. Yeah. It was we went off season, so if you ever do go to Hilton Head, this was after school was back in. And in our little, what were you calling it? What do you call it? Cottage area. There were probably, it's like, let's just say 10 our little cul-de-sac. Maybe 2 are occupied. So if you want nice, Hilton Head always is quiet and peaceful, but this was super chill.
Yeah. Temperature was still in the 90s, so you still felt great. Water wasn't ice cold.
Yeah, we had there was a pool at the place we stayed, and they had a lazy river, and it was maybe 6 or 7 people in the lazy river.
Yeah. I have been to Hilton Head in busy times and off season. Yeah. If you're going for like the social atmosphere of it as well, go for its busier times. It costs more that way, but you get more people down in like the more like the restaurants and the shops down that way. They have a big like boulevard of shopping and you name it. And we were there and walked around some. The Charlottes were open, but it wasn't very busy.
No, it wasn't very busy.
But you go in like the main season, it's everywhere you walk, there's like 20, 30 people walking around. So
or a spring break.
Or spring break.
Just know that when you go, it is more crowded. But even when it's crowded, it's still very peaceful.
Yeah, there's a lot of space. So, and the beach I don't know how long it spans, but it's a very long beach, multiple access points. It's very easy to find your own spot.
And easy to get around, like if you rent a bike. Easy.
We had bikes, so funny story.
Yeah.
We managed to get free bikes while we were down there. Because only 3 of us that went.
Yeah.
We really didn't need the bikes, and unfortunately my father was injured, so he couldn't really...
He had an injury that made where he couldn't get in the water. So
yeah. Before we left, he had like, we don't know if it was a spider bite or something that that reacted weirdly. Yucky. And made he couldn't get in the ocean water. Couldn't really get in the pool.
Poor guy.
We walked a little bit, but for the most part he rested and went out to eat with us and stuff.
So we just took the car. Yes. We didn't take the bikes.
But speaking of that, since basically only 2 of us needed to travel, we basically did the same things. We went to the pool at the same time, or I drop off at the pool, I go work out at the fitness center.
Right.
We went to the beach together because we have a new accessory. Didn't know if you want to talk about the new accessory.
Well, I don't know if you could tell, fair skin, if those that can see me. I burn very easily.
That's our natural tone right here.
That's it right there. Red hair.
It's basically the same color as the man in the South right here. Like over here, that's basically our natural skin tone.
Yes. So because of that, I've always struggled. I've always had to go to the beach really late and really cover myself.
Giant hat on.
Giant hat, sunscreen, sun shirt. So this time I thought I'm gonna get my own tent, my own sun tent. Now we're doing it off the Zon, which I need to find out how to be a influencer because I've gotten several really. I like things that make life easier.
Yeah, and this some great tools.
That did. I mean, I talked about my expandable seat, which I should have brought, but actually.
Chairs.
Off topic, just a little bit.
No, I was getting off topic.
I was filming yesterday for one of the short films, and there were no chairs because it was an office space that wasn't being used, and they let them film there. So, of course, there was no furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Should have brought my pop-up chair.
Yeah.
I sat on the floor. But anyway, so back to our tent. I bought this great tent, and it's made for the beach. It's got a big open window, mesh.
2 different sizes you can get, right?
Yes. Well, there's actually more.
Oh, okay.
There's a 3, a 4, a 6. I'll post a picture up because I took a picture of him in it. We took our beach chairs, and you could sit inside, get a great breeze, and it was shaded.
Yeah, so you have a big doorway.
And a seat, and not a seat. What am I trying to say?
Covering.
A bottom.
Yeah. So it's basically, think like a camping tent, sort of. You could take it for light camping, but you need to bring like a tarp and stuff too to block out the rain and moisture on the ground.
Right.
But this has like a big doorway in the front. That's like a big semicircle, probably 4 feet high, give or take.
It was called a 4-person tent, but really it's for 3. I would say 3 people.
Yeah, 4 people would be very tight sitting there. I mean, you put 2 chairs in comfortably, and one person can kind of sit there as well.
Right. Yeah, not 4, but definitely when we put this up, go for at least the 4-person.
Yeah, but the biggest trick, especially if you burn easily in the sun, it has 3 windows that have a what do you call that?
Like a mesh.
Like a mesh, so air can blow through and sun can get in. But the sun's coming in and you're burning. You can put up a little cover. But air can still sort of get through the sides, but the sun gets blocked on it. And you can do those. You can change all the sides on it. It was kind
of designed so no matter where the sun's coming, you can
block the sun.
It has like a little hook, and you can put the.
It's a cover.
Like a window shade. Like a sand window shade, a cover, yes.
Yeah, because if you watch people out there with umbrellas, they have to move their seats with the shade. This way, you sit in one spot, you just put your window up,
and then it packs down. You can pack it down to I don't know, 14 inches.
It's only 4 pounds in total weight.
Right.
Of all the poles, the
sheet. It's got 2 poles to go through it, 4 stakes. Boom, you're done.
Let me see if I have a photo on my phone. I can share really fast.
Yeah, I took a picture. Oh, hold on.
Here's one of my father and mom sitting in it.
Oh, perfect. Show that.
I don't know if you can see this very well, but that's the tent. Camera's there. Tent right there. So it has walls on only 3 sides. That's the door that's open, looking at them both. So that's what we had. Very lightweight. We could both carry it.
Right.
The only thing to watch out for is if you don't have sand weighting it down on the side of little sandbags, the wind could carry it off.
That nice feature they put in, I didn't catch this till the very end, even though you did. It had 3 empty pouches on the ground, and you just scoop sand into it.
Yeah, and that keeps it weighted down. And it has on the 4 corners, you spike it with a little metal rod, and that works fine too. But the sand really makes sure the weight isn't too light.
It was lovely. I sat in there. I mean, I'm not there to get sun because fair skin and everything.
I burn a little slower than you, not much, but a little slower.
Yeah, and then I just pop out all the freckles. Anyway, it was great. We'll put a link. You'll put it in the YouTube video, and then we'll post it
for the tents.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do that.
And talk about our socials, just if this is their first time.
So if it's your first time listening to our video, or you just found us on YouTube, thank you again. Our Instagram page is called Made in the South Pod. All one word. Just type that in. You'll find us right away. Same image as our background. Keep it kind of simple for you guys to find us.
Without the balloons.
Yeah, no balloons. So here you go. I'll do a little magic here.
I like that.
That's wrong image.
He was going to take away the balloons.
So that's it right there.
That's it.
Now the balloons are back.
I love the balloons. Yes.
That's the way to find us on Instagram. Facebook is Made in the South Podcast. All separated words. Those are the easiest ways to find us and talk to us directly.
Yes.
We also have a website, madeinthesouthpodcast.com.
And just send a private message if you want to on Made in the South Podcast. That's what some people have done. Hey, could you talk about this? Can you take away? Does that show up the green part? That just me. See the green line around it? That doesn't stay, does it?
No, that's just kind of have it selected.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know these things.
That's so I click on anything. I can click on this image here.
Right.
I click on down here on the bottom. Just a selector.
Got it.
Always teaching.
Always teaching. Even though I may not, this is something we found at Dragon Con, I may not be able to do some of the higher technical things. I like to know about it, so at least when people talk about it.
Yeah, well, I think we might have touched on this last week. You were at a panel and you asked a question that led the entire 50 people in there to go towards a more direct or focused topic.
Yeah.
They all want to know more about it too. And you're like, well,
they're a little embarrassed to ask because when you go to some of the panels, their technical expertise is very high. Mine was down low, And I think some of the other people in the room wanted to ask the question I asked. Then they, I need to know. So, anyways.
So, go off topic. I forgot what we were heading towards.
We were talking about our wonderful tent that we had that we're going to post.
Post a link to on YouTube description.
Right.
Oh, I remember what I was saying. If you get lost on Instagram, like, I don't know how to find people. I know for a long time you didn't understand hashtags and @ and
I didn't.
like, what is this? Just go to our website, madeinthesouthpodcast.com. It has links to all of our social medias. It has, just click that, it takes you right to our page. It has our email there too as well. It has links to Audible, Google Podcasts. If you can't find it in that platform, there's little icons. Click on those. It'll take you right to our podcast. You can also listen to it on the website. You can go to madeinthesouthpodcast.com, and if you don't want to download an app, whatever it is, you can find it right there on the website.
Yes, I appreciate when people have given us suggestions of things they want to know more about, like either in our area or in our South region. So.
Yeah. It could be a local event, music festival, breweries that you want to go to. Right. It could be a new restaurant or restaurant's been there for 50, 60 years. And go check this place out. It's awesome.
We like playing tourists in our own town, so that's fun.
We get to meet people, especially if we talk to like people that maybe kind of own the place. We talk to them a little bit, and they find out. We do a podcast, we talk to them a bit, learn a lot more details about their location than you would find off a basic Google search.
It's fun. Really fun. But yeah, so is there anything else about our adventure?
I had a funny story I wanted to share about the tent. So the first time we used the tent, we were laughing that the wind...
Oh, this was
because trying to get it set up, it was blowing around.
Wait. Before you say that, if you get a tent or anything like this, set it up at home first. Just saying.
Try it out first without any wind blowing in your face.
Now go for it.
But there's a couple funny stories with it. The first one I'm thinking of right now is we had it all set up. We had it all placed in. My first thought was, because it was a little bit windy that day, I was like, what if we don't have it secured properly and the wind picks it off?
Yeah.
So my dad was there with us the first time.
Yeah.
And so he sat down in the tent while you and I went for a walk. And we were laughing, like, what if we come back and he's just like up in the air and the tent got picked up by the wind? He was like floating off with it. And,
especially with these balloons on our podcast today.
But so that was my first joke I was thinking of. But then something else is...
it definitely had that potential because first day we set it up,
we didn't know what we were doing.
We didn't know what we were doing. And it has 3 like spring tension, what do you call those? Like,
so the individual poles have a string through it all that they unfold and they snap together, but they can kind of bend and expand a little bit to give you that arch.
Yes.
I don't know what they're called, but it gives you a nice big arch to keep it sturdy.
I call them like paracord, but I don't know what they are really. Anyways, it's like a regular tent pole. Put it through one way, then the other way, and then you stake it. But we had like 2 sets of stakes and
And I didn't know if I used the metal ones or if I used these plastic ones they had. I wasn't sure they went together because there's a little hole on, but I was learning it at the time with wind blowing.
Yes.
You trying to hold it down because it's
like,
blowing all around. So once we started working on it the first time, and my hands had to go off to put the pole through it.
Yeah.
It like blew sideways because you were holding it. I mean, you were holding it, but it was like blew around you. I had to go chase it around you.
Yeah.
And
but after that first time, we could get it up and we say all this because we didn't know what we were doing. But after the first time, we had
within
it up
2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
It's not hard to get up the first, but practice it once at home.
Yeah, once at home.
Recommendation is the bag that the tent comes in. You can get that back in there, but it's a very tight squeeze. We started to go to a bigger bag just to make it easier for us.
If you're on the beach, you don't want to have to pack it up.
You don't want to fold it into a square, roll it just right. We got it the first time, or like a second time, technically.
Yeah. So
the first time we put it up, it's another funny part of it. So I think you were holding the bag.
Right.
And we weren't thinking we had to re-roll it up. So I was pushing it inside, and then then I hold the bag, and she like goes through the side, loses the grip, and it goes flying away through the wind. And it was just, we almost fell over. We were crying, but we're just laughing so hard.
We're going to lose the tent and the bag because we were laughing too hard.
Of course, at this moment, you've been in the sun for several hours.
Yes.
You're tired. You probably have a little bit of sunburns. You got that wear and tear on your body.
You're hungry.
Yeah, you're hungry. You're thirsty. You just want to go back off the beach.
So what we decided to do, we just kind of wadded it up. I tucked it under my arm, and then we walked up to they have this beautiful like boardwalk at the top, away from the wind, and then we put it away.
Yes, I've been to a handful of beaches. I would say Hilton has probably one of the best like public access points to a beach.
They do.
Nice bathrooms, multiple showers, swinging chairs you can sit on, a lot of sitting space.
A lot of shade up at the top.
And it's right at where you can walk off to the sides to go eat or go shopping with. It's nice.
Oh,
Lots of parking.
There was a flat top grill. It's another place I love at Hilton Head. If you do decide to go, it's called Coligny Square. That's the beach. Right at the entrance to the beach. Right there's a great bar. Yeah. Nice food, indoor and outdoor seating. Yeah,
I had a big old seafood pasta dish. It was like $15, something like that. And it was, I was expecting to make it 25. No, it was $15, and it was a full dinner size, scallops, shrimp. I don't remember what else was on there, but yeah, it was. You stole some of my scallops, but yeah,
I had to.
Yeah, that's the first place we ate. I worked out, then met them down there. They have a free trolley too.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, make sure you tip the trolley, but I mean, I'll tell you the number for the trolley, but you can also find it if you're down there. But if you ever are planning a trip...
It's not something that's obvious to you, but at the place we stay, we're like, hey, is there any type of trolley? And she's, yes, there is. So
I'll post this too.
Okay.
But it's a free trolley. You call them, tell them where you are. They come pick you up. They work off tips, because I think it's a family business, so you just make sure you tip them when you're done.
It's like an oversized golf cart.
The number is 843-816-5145. But I'll post that as well on our Instagram and Facebook page. If you ever do go to Hilton Head, you'll have access to that in case your resort doesn't have the number or whatever.
Right. But I wouldn't. It's not obvious because it's not like this. It's not associated with the hotel.
Yeah.
Or the place you're staying.
Just an island service.
Yeah, that's great.
I think where else did we go on the island?
Tips that many.
They have. Is it a movie theater or just a theater for like? I know we went years ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I sometimes get them mixed up. So
yeah. Something we talked about, which we didn't go this time, but we've been a bunch in the past.
And we've been to the
Do you want to talk about Harbor Town at all?
No.
I mean, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a place we used to go to a lot, or we always go to eat at least once or twice while we're there.
Right.
It costs money to get there,
It does cost money to get into that plantation.
Yeah, so it's like a separate private area, but it has like restaurants and
private to stay, but public to go. So it has restaurants where your Salty Dog Cafe is, where the shirts with the dog, where the lighthouse is. I mean, it's got some beautiful shops. Sometimes I think we've even taken boats that have gone out of there. But we just didn't go this time because we've been
several times, and we were. And honestly, you don't have to go there to get good food. I mean, Sea Shack is great food, and right there on the main strip.
Favorite. They do have a great soup there. I mean, they have wonderful, like a pier that you can go. I mean, it's a beautiful part of the island. Yeah,
beautiful part. If you're there with like your husband and wife, or you're there with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, probably a great place to go and have a nice, quieter location, a bit more off the main path. But yeah,
you get your T-shirt.
Get your T-shirt. Yeah. Send us your photos of you in Salty Dog T-shirts.
Yeah, I remember when we had a dog, I got him a Salty Dog bandana. So, it's cute.
Was that for Rhett?
Possibly.
I think it was Rex. I know.
Our German Shepherd.
Spartan would have eaten it.
Yeah.
Sadie didn't like anything on her very long.
Right.
I know it wasn't for Dusty.
I can't say anybody wore it very long, but I got him one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where the Salty Dog Cafe is.
Another thing about dogs. Oh man. We had a couple of black labs. One was like a Great Dane size, and his paws were probably about the size of like your closed fist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shaboom.
Yeah. Paws a horse.
Yes.
He could stand there next to you. His head would be on the table.
Yeah.
I love that dog.
Or on the counter.
Yes, or the counter. He was a rescue. Yeah, he was super sweet. But yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of dogs. They allow dogs at the beach. Now that you bring that
Make
up.
sure you pick up after your dogs.
Yes,
they have bags at the beach when you get there.
Be respectful. And they also had certain hours, so check that. When animals are allowed on the beach.
They had certain hours. You couldn't blast your music. You could play music, but you couldn't blast it. If you go there at night, the beach is 24 hours. But if you go past, I think it was 8 p.m. maybe. There's a sign. Make sure you use a red flashlight, not a white light. One for the people around you, and also for the animals too. Red lights aren't as aggressive to night animals.
Correct.
So.
Trying to think of it. Yeah, but I mean,
which some folks didn't do, which like blinded us, right? Oh my gosh.
Or like but anyways, yeah.
Ooh, I got a funny story about it though.
Go for it.
So one of the days we were there, probably our third day there.
Okay.
You and I went to the beach later in the evening.
Okay.
And so the tides shift throughout the day.
Right.
One of the days, the rip tide or the current after when the waves are going back out into the ocean, we're pushing sideways along the beach.
Sorta.
So we're out there, and I'm like, I'm bracing myself. My mom's just going flying that way, falls down. I'm just watching her laughing. A lady's to the side recording her husband and daughter, sees us and starts laughing and records us. I walk over there, and you're like, help me! And I have to like grab you and pull you up, and that was just...
Yeah, if I was
I was
by myself,
crying.
I hope I could have gotten out, but it was a little struggle.
And she was like tumbling and rolling in the water. There's a lot of times we're together where we just
so hard.
cry so hard laughing. I'm sure you find us on the podcast funny at times, but when we're a person doing random stuff...
Oh my God.
I mean, we literally do travel all together and do random stuff.
And Ben was standing there thinking, do I watch her or do I help her?
I was like, right now, her head's like here in the water. She's not drowning. I'll watch her for a few minutes. But I walked over to you. I was like, here you go. And I just pulled you out.
I appreciated it.
Yep.
That was the only day it was like that. The other days, you could go out and... Yeah, it was fine.
Well, that day we had some rain clouds, which made it a bit more aggressive.
I guess so.
But usually the tide goes back and forwards. This one went like forwards and sideways.
Yes.
So it's a bit awkward to brace yourself because you're getting pulled one direction and then sideways instead of just back and forth.
Right. So it wasn't interesting, and then it was really nice to be able to go out and like float and do the ocean thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, our second to last day, we went earlier at like noon. Mm-hmm. The tides were super far out.
Right.
And like in the ocean, so you had to walk like probably 200 feet to get there.
Seemed like a mile, but it wasn't.
It was almost a football field. It could have been a football field. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And
shock.
With these little low sitting beach chairs, I just put in the water at the edge because you're rather just swimming around with your noodle.
Yeah. And
by the end of it, the sea was almost submerged and the tide pulling sand into it. I like yank it out of the water and
it was good times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's a little afraid. Because if he had sat in the tent that we set up, you couldn't have seen me. Like, bye, Mom.
Mm-hmm. I'd always watch out for make sure she doesn't flip upside down or basically like a child.
True, it's true. It's all true. Let's see, everything I forget about the beach.
There is a brewery. I don't know if it's a brewery, but it's like an outdoor seating. I think they brew somewhere and bring it there. I don't think they brew it on location. Yeah. But it's outdoor sitting area, food, drinks,
brand new.
Food trucks, brand new. It's called The Bank. Used to be a bank back years ago. Mm-hmm. And now it's like an outdoor sitting area to hang out.
I always say if there's Edison lights hanging outside, then it's a brewery. Yeah. Brewery style, even if they don't brew their own.
It's like a food truck park, but you can also beer and I'm sure other cocktails too.
Yeah, and they had lots of tables and air deck chairs.
There were little fire pits if I wasn't mistaken. We didn't walk in there because we couldn't do everything.
Yeah.
But
that was fun. We thought every time we drove by it, we're like, we're gonna stop, but we never.
We got home, we had some wine or some tequila. I'm like, nah, we're good.
We just go back to the place.
Funny story about tequila. My father is a heavy-handed pourer.
Yes.
Not by design. He just doesn't realize how much he pours. So he's pouring himself and myself a shot. This is probably like a double shot. Mine's almost a whole glass, probably 5 or 6 ounces of tequila. I was like, you want me to shoot this whole thing right now? I can do, but I put it into a cocktail. I was like, I can't. I drank like half of it, and I was like, I can't keep shooting this.
I don't know, whatever.
You gotta space out your shots, but I was like, I'll put some orange juice in there, some ice, shake it up.
That's my favorite, is vanilla vodka, orange juice, and ginger ale. Mm-hmm.
Ginger ale or Sprite, you can do that.
My favorite's ginger ale.
If you don't have vanilla vodka, you can do regular vodka with a little dash of like vanilla
I've done that with
flavoring
vanilla extract,
or extract or whatever. But
good stuff.
Yeah. Anything else about Hilton Head you want to bring
up? That's all I can think. I mean, it was wonderful. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, we were there like 6 or 7 days, so
I'm already ready to go back.
We love the beach personally. That's because
we went to Charleston.
I was going to bring that up afterwards. But I was going to wrap up Hilton Head first. The drive to Hilton Head from Knoxville is about 7 hours without stopping, which I mean it's a nice drive. It's kind of boring of a drive, but it's mostly straight shots, highway or interstate the whole way there. Found out there's a Sam's Club right next to where we're staying.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? If you're a Sam's Club member, you get nice cheaper gas.
Get your water because you want to get your big thing of water to have in your hotel or condo.
And one thing to note is that there's no longer a toll booth to get in or out.
Oh, good point.
So for years it was like $1.25 again just to pay for the bridge they created, and they paid it off. So toll booth's gone.
I used to always say I kind of wanted to go shopping at the they have a Tanger outlet there, and now I can do it without paying a toll.
Yeah, because it used to be if you went there like a lot of people, you couldn't leave the island unless you wanted to pay twice to leave and come back. But now it's gone. It's not. I mean, it's a few bucks.
It'll still be on your GPS saying toll booth ahead, but it's gone.
Yeah. I think my phone it wouldn't be, but I know with the car GPS still said toll booth in 2 miles. We got there and no toll booth.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little treat.
I know some folks get stressed about toll booths, so if you get stressed, don't worry. It's not there anymore. If you're local, you want to just go to the beach, no cost to get in there, you just go right to the beach.
Plenty of parking right at the beach. So in
That's
Charleston,
pretty much right.
that's about,
Yeah, for us, I mean, there's a lot more to do in Hilton Head, but that's you can jet ski, you can kayak, ride a boat, get a boat tour,
rent a watercraft,
parasail. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Maybe has zip line.
Yeah, there's zip
I don't know
lines.
where it is, we didn't go,
but if you go to your hotel, your resort check-in, you still have a concierge there. Ask them for like information on local things to do, and they'll give you like a pamphlet of a bunch of activities you can do.
Right.
It costs money, but
if they don't, just look it up.
Look it up or talk to someone there.
Yeah, that's the best way.
A lot of resources. If you have questions or want us to do the research for you, send us a message. We'll tell you 20 things to do while you're down there.
Yes, we didn't do them all this time, but we've been there several times, so we had like a wide breadth of.
I have kayaked and burned the tops of my thighs before because I was like, I put sunscreen on. Didn't think about sitting in kayak. Your shorts go down a little bit.
Yeah.
My thighs were crispy, peeling. It was awful.
You're going in the intercoastal waterway, and you're in and out of like the seagrasses. So.
But it's a cool kayak. You go like through some of the tall grasses. So, you can't see anything else besides your guide and whoever you're with. But that was a lot of fun.
And they did have a 2-person watercraft that you could rent and have a guide. So with a motor on the back.
So word of advice: don't take Lisa kayaking.
No.
She will stop 2 minutes in. But yeah,
I'm tired.
I would do because I would get to hang out with you, but it's a bit more work. But.
I asked the guy about he said, "Oh, you could take the 2-person motor, 2-person boat."
I heard that.
And I said, "Is there a motor?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, that's for me." And jet skis.
Yeah, jet skis too. I mean,
anyways.
the waves aren't massive high, but there's a lot of good waves, so don't expect to go surfboarding. But you can go with like small kickboards or just to ride the waves in, but you can't really go surfing in Hilton Head.
Truth.
I think it's more of a golf type thing, right?
Right.
Go surfing. You need more aggressive waves to go surfing.
Right. A little more push.
I mean, you can do like low wave surfing, but you couldn't like
it's more boogie board.
Ride the wave
on
the coast around the side.
No. But we said, hey, I've done Savannah, which I highly recommend. We did.
We've done Savannah twice now.
I think so. We stayed for a week.
I think Dad stayed a couple more times.
Yeah, we went back and stayed for a week.
Yeah, I was working.
It was wonderful. But this time we wanted to try Charleston. So since the third member of our party wasn't feeling well, the two of us left him.
It's about a 2-hour drive from Hilton Head to get to Charleston.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
There is, they do have a lot. They have like a boat that goes between Hilton Head and Savannah, which is lovely. It's not as far away, but there is no like waterway to get from Hilton Head to Charleston, but it's easy drive.
Charleston's like a little inlet. There's like surrounding, I think it's technically Charleston, but it's not really the city. It's more of like suburbia and private locations and stuff that kind of surround the main part of the city, which is all on one island. Or it's sort of an island. It's not really an island, but it's like a land that's separated from the main land of the USA. And you have to take bridges to get there.
So Ben, being a bartender, had asked some of his patrons for ideas, and they gave
like restaurant ideas, activities, things to do. And pull up my notes and so I know the exact names.
Yes. One of the things, while you're looking that up, that they recommended, I wouldn't even thought about, was doing one of the horse-drawn carriages, and that was a great way. To kind of get an overview of the city. Some
history, locations.
Right.
Kind of know where you are, why it's called King Street, or why.
The marketplace. All the part. It was like an hour-long tour. I thought it was well worth.
It's also hilarious. Our guide was very funny. I don't know if all the guides were that funny, but our guide was hysterical.
And he knew a lot about Charleston because he had been one of the bicycle.
So a little cart on the back that people sit in, and then you ride a bike to kind of.
For like 7 or 8 years.
They call them peddlers.
But anyways, I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I think I've been 16 years. Yeah, we also
went several. You just pick one. They were all there right together. I think they all looked pretty similar costs.
Yeah.
But what's the one we did? We did the Palmetto stables.
I'm sure they're all great, but Palmetto's one we went on, pet the horses.
And there is, let me just tell you something real quick about that. There was parking right at the stable, but if you think you're going to walk around afterwards, go to one of the garages.
Yeah, we stayed at a garage. It was $1 per half hour, I think, which is one of the best deals we saw. Some were like $1 per 15 minutes. But yeah, the one we went to, I think it was Cumberland.
It was Cumberland.
It's right next to the marketplace where their big marketplaces. So if you ever go down there,
sorry, I want to talk over you. It was kind of centrally located.
Yeah, that's what I recommend. You can also pay for the whole day if you're going to be there from like morning to night. You could pay for the whole day. It'd be cheaper that way. That's probably the best parking you can do. It's kind of central to the pier, to King Street, to South Charleston, kind of right in the middle of it all. And the marketplace is literally right next to it. So you can go shopping. The marketplace at night on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's cool.
It's all local shops, all locally made. So there's no vendors from like other states or other cities. It's all in Charleston focus. But you can go during the day and see a lot more
different
variety.
set. Well, we found out we didn't get to go at night, but during the day is a different set of vendors. They all pack up, and then on Friday and Saturday nights, the night vendors. The night vendors come in. Live music.
Yeah, live music too. We didn't stay for that because we want to be home till 1 a.m. that night. So
if you had stayed in Charleston, I think it'd be a perfect.
So Charleston also has the University of Charleston, so it's also a big college town, which is very similar to Knoxville. We're also a big college town too here. But I like the city because it's all forced to be in one spot because of geographical limitations. So I know here Knoxville is kind of spread out east to west quite a bit. A little bit north and south, kind of like a big T of where the city is expanded to and the urban centers. But there in Charleston, it's kind of all one big oval.
It was very cool. It was a lot of history. We, of course, only had the day, so we did a nice smattering. We did our horse-drawn carriage. We walked down to the pier, which you could have just spent half a day walking the pier, doing the shops, checking out the restaurants.
We had a great brunch
Gorgeous.
while we were down there.
Oh, it was so good.
It's on the south side of King Street. King Street is like the main road of the city where like your shop starts, like your mercantile road. Back in the day, people wanted to put your marts on King Street. That's where nobles were, and your what do you call them, your governors and all that stuff. That's where they would travel on. So you have a lot of shops there.
They have a lot of fancy shops.
A lot of fancy shops on the northern side of King Street, but the south side went to a place called Miller's All Day. Had a great brunch. You had a frittata, which was delicious.
And they had a big scoop of they call the red
grits.
Never had that before. They were delicious. It was one of the best frittatas I ever had. Had a nice green salad, like green, not salad, more of greens on top. It was amazing.
Because in Charleston, they can grow a lot of rice and grits and things in that area. They're probably all locally grown stuff.
It was so good.
Yeah,
and you had...
It was kind of like I wanted this biscuit bowl thing with gravy and stuff, but this one, they were out of that one. So it was like egg, grits, gravy, cheese, what was the other thing? I think it was sausage gravy.
Potatoes? The potatoes.
Yeah, and the potato wedges that they I don't know, it was air fried, or they make them super crispy and flaky on the outside.
Good.
It's kind of like a soup, like a bowl of soup, but like a hearty, thick
like
soup.
a breakfast bowl of soup.
Breakfast bowl with the gravy was the soup. It wasn't like watery, but the gravy was the soup part. Yeah, that was...
It was delicious.
Yeah, I could not eat all of it. I got to the point I was like, I need to lay down.
Oh, and talk about what you got as for appetizer. I forgot about that.
Yes, so I got, easy way to describe it, banana bread. But it had a hazel walnut spread on top. It had honey glazed dribbles all over it. It had chocolate shaving sprinkled on top too. Basically like a dessert appetizer. It was delicious.
It was good. But you could tell that it's a popular place because there was a 45-minute wait. So
we got there as 45 minutes to an hour, but we got there closer towards the end of them being open. But I'm sure if you were there earlier, because it was full when we got there, I'm sure they were on like an hour and a half wait when we first got there.
Which is a good thing because it's probably going to be a good place to eat. But the nice part about all that is they will text you. So you get on the wait list and you can go shop and then they text you and you come back.
Yeah. And something we learned while being in Charleston, talking about shopping, is that written in their laws, if a building or a sign, whatever, is at least 75 years old, you cannot move or change it. It has to stay where it is. So you might have a shop where the name says like...
Oh, remember that pharmacy? I thought it was an old apothecary.
Yeah, I think it said Billards or something like that. Yeah. Walked inside, it is not an apothecary or a pharmacy store. It is a clothing and custom jewelry type store. It has some glass stuff.
Well, on the outside, it has signage for it's a pharmacy, but it's not.
But they couldn't change the sign or anything about the building, so they had to leave it there. But
and there was another restaurant that our tour guide said it said jazz and food or something. But
it's like classic jazz and southern food or something like that. But they couldn't change the sign. It's more like hip hop and pop and stuff like that. It's like a nightclub. Yeah,
I thought that was interesting because they're trying to preserve the historic nature. You can't tear down a building. They said the only way a building comes down is if it happens by nature.
And the only way you can change the paint color or make modifications if you follow the guidelines set by the city, and that can be a little costly. But they want it to be high quality,
Right,
so
right, and authentic.
and authentic too. They want to try to preserve the feeling of how the city always has been.
Yeah.
So,
But next time we go, I want to spend more time on what's that part? It's like a wharf. It's not the best way I could describe it. The pier, like a pier wharf, the whole way on up towards the ocean, and you could spend a lot of time because they made it like a garden.
they have some apartments over there too. It's like a living
Fountains.
space.
It was beautiful. It was.
I highly encourage you, if you go to Charleston, take a horse carriage ride.
Yes.
You get a lot more in depth about the history. You can ask some questions about a certain place you pass by. It's very informative.
Well, then we felt comfortable walking. I mean,
Yeah.
no. Oh, I think I know where we're going because we had taken the tour.
Taking that, she also had me for directions. And
we did have a map, but still.
The sun sets in the west.
Yes, I do know I want to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else we got going on? Anything else?
So that was really our vacation in a nutshell. I mean, there's more to it we can talk about. If you have any questions or want us to go more in depth about something, send us a post, tag us in a comment. Yeah, or how something works, or I don't know, like exactly where to park. I can put up the map and say right here's where I parked.
We stayed in more of a timeshare kind of place, so but I do have more information if you're looking at hotels or
we stayed there multiple times over the years.
Right.
You can go with friends, family. You can go with small groups, big groups. Have a good time no matter what. I will say if you go with 4 people or more, get a couple bikes. Because there'll be moments where you don't want to go to the same place, so 2 people can bike off somewhere else, and the other 2 can drive somewhere else. So.
Right. So that's it for that.
Yeah.
The only other thing we got back,
that was about an hour of our vacation, so that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say we've just kind of enjoyed. We were gone 2 weeks out of the last 3 weeks, so it's kind of been nice being home.
Yep. We went to Atlanta, got back, did a quick recording.
Yeah.
Basically, I worked. So the day I got back, I worked.
Right.
So I worked every day until we left. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to really think or do anything. So I literally packed the night and morning of I was leaving because I was just working every single day until I left again. So.
And I have done very little except for unpack because I didn't want to unpack after the first time, so I left it all packed. And then 5 days later we left. But I'm ready to go again.
Yep, I'm ready as well. Get some more seafood and whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to think about anything else that I've done since I've been back.
Well, you did.
I got groceries.
I did watch we always like to talk about things we watched. You haven't watched anything new, you said recent.
Correct. I'm not watching anything new. Anything new you're watching? I'm watching something that's older.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
One of my favorite shows of all time is a show called Burn Notice, and we started rewatching it at Hilton Head, like at night, whatever. And so I've kept watching that, and it's still holds up to be probably my favorite TV show of all time. That one.
If you haven't seen it, you might want to start watching it.
It's like a spy thriller drama, but it's the spy thriller in the sense that the main character is a spy, but it's about like helping out the little guy in the community.
Burned, meaning he can't be a spy anymore. So it's all the whole show's about.
It's MacGyver-ish, where he improv solutions during and the bad guys are right outside in their truck with guns, and he has to figure out how to use homemade ingredients to create explosive to get out with his friends outside, and it's really intricate. The characters are fantastic, and
I enjoy it.
It's got enough
Of course, it has one of our favorite characters from Stargate.
Yes, there's a guest character. I won't go into details. So I won't spoil anything. But Michael Shanks is an actor who he's in a handful of episodes.
That was kind of fun. One movie, so definitely check that out.
Quick thing, first 2 seasons are on Freevee on Amazon Prime. Okay. So I believe it's free if you have Amazon Prime. I believe Freevee is free that way. So you can watch the first 2 seasons, see if you like it for free if you have Amazon Prime.
And if you haven't done this before, I don't ever want to assume people know how to find things. So put your show in, and down below it'll say ways to watch. Then it'll list all the ways to watch, and it'll tell you if you have a subscription to Amazon Prime, it's free. Then it'll have ways to pay per episode.
YouTube TV, or it could be.
You'll get a long list of ways to watch. I've told people that before, and they didn't know how to do that, so I thought I should share.
You can just Google where to watch blank show.
That too.
And most shows will pull up with accurate information about here's all the on Netflix or anywhere or HBO Max or whatever it might be. No, it's called something else now, but
yes,
Max.
Max, just Max. I saw A Million Miles Away advertised when I was in the Regal Theater, and they said, "Oh, it's going to be on." I think it was Amazon Prime. They started. Well, I'll tell you about it. They've started doing that in the theater, advertising things are on streaming services, which kind of are in the movies, but whatever. But they said A Million Miles Away. It's the story. Michael Pena is the lead actor in it, and it's the story of Jose Hernandez. He was the first migrant worker to go to space. And it was his whole journey from being a migrant worker to going to school to the different steps he had to take to get into the NASA program. And he went to the space station. Yeah. Well,
that'd be a good movie to watch.
It was so good. It was, real life, and the directing was beautiful. The acting was great. It was one of those feel-good movies.
Very heartfelt.
Yes. And his journey and, how he got there from beginning to end. Wonderful. It was wonderful.
I'll have to check that out.
It's called A Million Miles Away.
Million Miles Away. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. There you go. So there's some recommendations, a TV show and a movie to go watch.
Yep. So I don't really have much more. You said we've been talking for a bit, huh?
Yeah. I mean, something that I can pull up something that you like to watch that
No, I was going to say.
It's super cute.
What's that?
So this is something my mom's been addicted to. We have
I can't wait
talked about it some a little bit. I have them pull up at random. But here's Gizmo.
Oh!
And this is just something my mom watches that she loves watching. So
he's my favorite bird.
Yeah, this is Gizmo. Thought we'd just watch a little bit. He just says fun things.
He's talking to his mama.
Mm-hmm.
Not funny. Whoa! And he was owned to this lady. I don't want to talk over Gizmo. I think it was 16 years, owned by someone else. So of course he came with different language, different sayings that she had not taught him.
Yep. Kids play the violin. Oh man. You think it'd be a good idea to have a bird like this, but they'd be talking the whole time, every day.
Because he'll say all the time, "Mama, Mama."
Here's the other bird, I think.
Oh. Is this Cosmo? Oh.
Work took a nap.
And he'll tell the cat. He'll talk to the cat.
Nice to laugh.
You pause for a second.
Yeah.
He'll tell his mom, because that's showing up over ours. Mm-hmm. He'll tell his mom sometimes, like, "Do this," and he'll make that water sound, and she'll try. He'll go, "Oh, that's not very good."
Yeah, that's something you can go watch is Gizmo. He is hilarious.
I know if you're just listening, like audio, pull Gizmo up. You can pull him up on the YouTubes and different places.
If you just type in Gizmo, his channel pops up, the first thing you find.
And the reason I say that is sometimes you can't really understand what he's saying, but they put captions. Which, that's what he's saying once you see the captions. Not fun.
Yeah. That's a video she'll spend hours watching. So.
And I found another one. His name's Cosmo. Another African gray. Super makes me very happy.
Yeah, but if you go down YouTube rabbit holes, that's a great way to do it. You get a lot of entertainment, laughs, you cry, your stomach hurts by the end.
And then, of course, if you pull up 1 or 2 bird videos, guess what? You start getting more bird videos.
Yep, that's really all I have for this week. Probably next week we're gonna do more of a focus on this local area and stuff to live here, job opportunities, companies, that type of stuff. Kind of give you an idea of if you are to move here. Here's some ideas.
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea. One of our listeners asked us to talk about that.
Yeah, which is what we love to do. To give us your input, questions. That way we can kind of theme our episodes on something you cared about personally. So that way we can, keep you entertained.
Ready for some? Oh yes, of course. I'm ready for some jokes.
Harmon Comedy Hour.
Harmon Comedy time.
Do and put the music here. We don't have music for it.
That was our music.
Besides the intro and outro, I don't have any music.
Written by your 2 favorite voice actors.
Yes.
Do.
Yep. You got a good joke to start with?
I am ready. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me pull it up. All right. I could choose to have one superpower. You know what it'd be?
What would it be?
Invisibility.
What?
Make myself clear. That's good. Come on.
Yeah, that's something. That's something. I wouldn't say it's good. That's something. So all my jokes are food based because I cooked this morning, so I am in a food mood.
All right, let me hear it.
So you know I'm really good at making bacon, right? Cooking bacon.
Making bacon.
Making bacon.
He's good at making bacon.
Yeah. But do you know what color I look like? The best color when I'm cooking it? I like to be a perfect seer. What color I look for when I'm making it?
When you're making bacon?
Yeah. What's the best color for it?
Brown.
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know you like the thick cut bacon, so that works. Mahogany.
I forgot my other ones. Yeah, go ahead.
You have yours, right? Do you know what? I'm sorry to say this, but I lost my husband's audiobook.
Your husband's audiobook? That's not good. Why?
I did.
How so?
I did. I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Oh, goodness. That's funny. That's actually pretty good.
That was good.
Do you know what a pig's favorite song is?
Wee.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Breaking
my heart.
See, don't go baking my heart. And I was hearing, of course, my ear auto-tuned to breaking because of the song. Don't go baking my heart. Ooh, ooh.
So I got one here that I know you'll like. I saw it.
All right, I'm ready.
My mom will like this.
Okay.
What kind of ice cream do pigs like the best? What's the pig's favorite ice cream?
I have no idea.
Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs. I had Haagen-Dazs at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, I got one more for that. Was good. I like that. Do you know that not everyone thinks Cleopatra was beautiful?
No.
That's how Julius Caesar.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, tell Julius Caesar. Jeez.
Oh, that was my last one. Got any more?
I got one more. This
one's
just pretty good. Do you know what the best vehicle for delivering bacon is? You're gonna deliver bacon to a friend, and the best vehicle to use?
A Kroger deli case.
A pick-up truck.
I love that. That was good. That was good.
All right. Well, guys, that's about all I got tonight or today.
Got.
We're gonna go for a walk, enjoy the sunshine.
Beautiful weather here.
Something I want to encourage you guys to do is, if you have family and friends nearby, reach out to them. I know that I was gone for over a week, and my best friend, I could tell he missed my presence. So make sure you reach out to your friends, hang out with them.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with my friends tonight. Yeah. So
you could just be getting some lunch, grabbing a drink, whatever you all like to do. Just spend some time together. This world's crazy as it is. Just slow it down a little bit. Hang out with those you love.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? Always be kind.
Always be kind. Guys, have a great week. We will see y'all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.